Welcome to TechnoSports. Today our topic is Intel shows off its new 10nm Ice Lake CPUs at CES 2019, as well as they have showed off their new 9th gen processors ranging from Core i3 to Core i9. So let's discuss about them.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to CES. Thank you so much for joining us here today. So for the first time anywhere in public today, I'm going to demonstrate and we're going to show our Ice Lake first volume 10nm client SoC. This is it right here. This is Ice Lake in my hand.
Firstly, starting off with Intel's new 10nm Ice Lake CPUs at the CES 2019, finally Intel shows off its 10nm Ice Lake processors instead of its repeatedly delayed Cannon Lake 10nm platform CPUs. This will now be widely available series of 10nm CPUs from Intel. The new Ice Lake CPUs will use the Sunny Cove core microarchitecture and a new Gen 11 integrated GPU, announced both at the Architecture Day last month. The Gen 11 GPU will even support adaptive sync and will deliver 1 teraflop of GPU horsepower. Intel is now building in supports for Thunderbolt 3, Wi-Fi 6 and Deep Learning Boost into the Ice Lake chips for better futuristic performance both for laptops and the PCs. Intel is also promising that PC makers will be able to make PCs with Ice Lake processors that will be available on shelves by the end of 2019. At the CES keynote, Intel even demonstrated ODM systems from Pegatron and Wistron.
This is way more than just a CPU, and it's packed with a bunch of firsts. So to show that off a little bit, I wanted Chuck to come out and show us Ike Lace in action.
We've written a little script here. I'm going to go ahead and enter on both of these. Now, this script is going to go through, it's going to look at all those hundreds of photos that I have on each system. You're going to see it's going to look through all those systems I've put in a category of water. So it's going to find all those pictures I have that have water. And you're going to see with each of these systems, even though I have a Core i7 8th gen CPU here, when I bring in the advantages of Ice Lake, it's going to happen and go through those pictures much, much faster. And you're going to see actually, in this case, a 1.5x improvement when I go through and look for pictures with water.
That's right.
Before in the past, when you had a system this thin, this light, you had to sacrifice something. It usually was that CPU performance and GPU performance, but now with Ice Lake, you're not sacrificing nothing. So we've also got Thunderbolt on this one system, so you see one cable. I've got a cable here so you can hear the game, but I got one cable going to a monitor, keyboard, mouse, and external storage, and yet I still have that tremendous Gen 11 graphics performance to make you this type of gaming solution all in one simple solution.
So now you got to take a breath because we did that really fast. You showed Ice Lake in the form factor, great CPU, graphics, AI workload acceleration, gaming, and Thunderbolt 3 integration all in that package.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Dell also joined Intel on the stage to readily show off an Ice Lake powered XPS laptop that is said to be available later by this year. Ice Lake chips will also introduce new instruction sets to accelerate AI and machine learning. Intel is also aiming for future as well. The chip giant is planning to use the Foveros 3D chip stacking technology to build future chips. In this method, Intel's chip designer will be able to stack extra processing power on top of an already assembled chip die. Now, these chiplets can be stacked one on top of another to form a processor that even includes graphics, AI processing, and much more. Well, Ice Lake seems promising and finally genuinely positive approach from Intel after years of fake promise. Ice Lake CPUs are expected to ship in volume in time from 2019 holiday shopping season, and so availability starts from Q3 of 2019. Now coming to Intel's latest 9th gen processors that are now ranging from Core i3 to Core i9. and the new 9th Gen mobile processor powered laptops that are soon available from Q2 of 2019.
So today, I'm pleased to be here to announce that we are launching 6 new 9th generation Core desktop processors from Core i3 all the way up to Core i9. We'll also be bringing 9th generation Core processors to our mobile family, our H series line, just next quarter in Q2, bringing that same high level of performance for gamers, content creators, productivity to our mobile H series line. So stay tuned for that. We're very, very excited.
Now, the total range of 9th Gen processors seems complete, ranging from Core i3 up to Core i9. We have already seen the Core i9 9900K, the Core i9 9700K and the Core i5 9600K, which use the latest Coffee Lake refresh designed to offer up to 8 cores and a boost clock up to 5 GHz. All the processors will include a certain mix of standards, including the overclockable K processors and the new F processors without integrated graphics and KF processors which combine the overclocking without graphics. So as we see, we have total of 9 processors in the list and most of them are overclockable CPUs having a TDP of 95 watts. Well, as we see, several of these new models lacks the integrated Intel UHD 630i GPU as denoted by the F suffix by the product name. These chips come packing with the same 14 nanometer process and Coffee Lake microarchitecture as their own 9th Gen brothers. Sitting at the top is the 8-core Core i9 9900KF, which matches the Core i9 9900K, and similarly the Core i7 9700KF and the Core i5 9600KF that are identical to their previously released counterparts. The new Core i3 9350KF is an overclockable quad-core processor without hyperthreading and even without graphics. It has a 4 GHz of base frequency and a 4.6 turbo frequency. The Core i5 9400F is a hexacore processor without multi-threading or integrated graphics. It has a 2.9 GHz base frequency and a 4.1 turbo frequency, and its only new processor declared with its pricing. The Core i5 9400 is the same processor as its brother but with Gen 9 Intel HD 630 graphics. The Core i5 9400 seems the only new locked model in this massive lineup. There are also rumors of the Core i3 8100F slot at the bottom of the stack with 4 cores and 4 threads and a static of 3.6 GHz frequency and a 6 MB of L3 cache. Well, until and unless the processors get tested in a hands-on way, it is impossible to guess how will it help the new processors to gain, compromising the iGPU whether in terms of overclocking or power consumption. Intel expects these processors to start shipping at the end of January, which is not a sign of proper commitment. On the other hand, the Intel 9th Gen mobile processors that will be quite similar to the desktop ones, maybe with lesser TDP, are to be made available from Q2 of this 2019, but no specifications or architectures have been so announced yet. So how did you like the new 10 nanometer Ice Lake CPUs as well as the new 9th Gen CPUs? So tell us in the comments. Make sure to subscribe this channel for more new tech and sports updates and visit our website technosports.co.in. Have a great day.